Evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic: Americans must use outside sources to get media information. Americans must use outside sources to get media information. Reason why I am putting this topic out there is because Donald Trump's in office right now. And the mainstream media and the left, they are going absolutely crazy because they do not like changes in their policies. For the past 20 years, the liberal left has been able to say and do whatever they want to do without being checked. And most of us who are hardworking Americans didn't have time to actually look into what's going on in the news. Therefore, we were distracted and we were fed a bunch of rhetorical nonsense from the liberal left. And I remember you had nothing but the alphabet channels until Fox News came. Now, I like Fox News, that's the best one, but they have their problems as well. Too often, most of the news that we are fed comes from the propaganda of colleges and universities, newspapers, and you have the alphabet channels. Certainly, if you have a counterbalance, you have the conservative talk radio, but that's also mainstream. When I make YouTube videos and I talk about a topic, I research it and then I elaborate it with my own words so I won't plagiarize somebody else's work. When it comes to media, media is going to put a spin on everything because they have an agenda. And I believe that the liberal media is the ghost branch of government. Once Donald Trump won the election, you could see the tears from the liberal media. And the liberal media likes what's going on with all these protests because they have a story and they're going to continue to run stories every day about this president for the next 4 years. I can tell you right now, if you're a Trump supporter, you're going to be in for a long ride. So here's what I'm suggesting you to do. Go to your library, look on the internet, make sure that your sources are objective sources, start doing some blog writing, get some blog talk radio shows, and get a YouTube channel. Start keeping people informed by using the outside media such as YouTube, because let me tell you something about YouTube, and let me tell you something about blog talk radio. Both media types are very powerful because the mainstream media has a limit. It can only reach everybody in the United States unless you have smart people who can go on the internet and find that the news is streamed. But what's more powerful than the mainstream media is what I'm doing right now, presenting you the information from YouTube that I have researched. You can take your video and post it anywhere. And for some of you individuals out there, particularly in the black sector of YouTube, when you have social issues, particularly what's going on in the black community, let me give you a bit of advice. You may have already heard this before. Get yourself a 1 or 2 terabit hard drive so you can download all of your videos to that hard drive. So if something happens to your channel, you can put your channel right back up somewhere else. Now, let me stay with the black sector for a moment. What the black sector of YouTube needs to do, if they're really serious about it, instead of utilizing YouTube, form your own black media network. Put it up on a website. That way, You can talk about anything you want, and it cannot be flagged. You can write anything you want utilizing blogging. Media is going to try to distract everything that is going on in this country. It is. This is what the left wingers do, and they're good at it. The left wing rhetoric has run rabid, and it's worked. And again, what this left wing media tries to do is create a divide between all the folks. And if you are uninformed, your feelings or your emotions are going to be charged. But the way to deal with the left wing media and college media, number one, you can stay out of college by taking your classes online. Number two, if you are a good speaker, you can go out, have town hall events, speak from town hall, speak your mind, but speak to people who are only logical. Don't speak to irrational people, because you're not going to get your point across. Speak clearly and articulately, and make sure when you are discussing a topic, you have your sources to back up what you're saying. What I'm going to do with my channel, once I learn how to do it, I'm going to get a green screen. You're eventually going to see facts, empirical data that will be posted, because I like utilizing numbers. Because in this country, the media is going to try to manufacture any story. Because right now the media is hurting. I mean, I would be too. When you're told that your news is fake news, and I will give this to President Trump. He does have the gonads to tell this media that you're nothing. No other president would do that. And I actually like that. So you don't have to agree with everything that someone says. However, if you put your message out properly, like if you see me, I don't curse in any of my videos. So number two, when I tell you I don't do controversial issues, I can take an issue that is controversial and break it down for education. This is why you don't see me talk about African American women. That's not what I'm about. In fact, I encourage African American women, if they want knowledge about business, education, and careers, and even some politics, to come over to my channel. Because right here, you don't have to go through the nonsense. But if you want hard-hitting social issues and news, you have people like Tommy Sotomayor. They're already doing that news for you. You have Angry Man, O'Shea Jackson, Ringo TV Raw, Minister Jack. You have Brother Chris Smith doing child support. So there's already a collaboration out there, particularly in the black sector of YouTube, that is the underground media. And don't forget Obsidian. And we have to support that underground media. And if we can't support each other in the black sector of YouTube, we have to support other men, because, again, men in this country are basically losing the fight, not because of women, but because of other men who pandered to the feminist movement. And we're talking about Washington. The last president did. Bill Clinton did. But what you don't have in this administration, Donald Trump is not having any backlash that he cares about, because he's going to do what he's going to do. Now, Donald Trump must be careful, because one wrong move, he can find himself impeached. I think he knows that. But we have a country that the media makes everything look like it's in favor of the left. And this is what happened to all the liberal media hypes during the election. I mean, they were given all types of strategies that Donald Trump needed to do to win the presidency. But as we knew, if you kept watching, once the states start dropping for Donald Trump, that's when the media had an old you know what method. And the method I'm talking about is they knew they were wrong. I mean, all the polls were wrong. And the polls were generated by who? The left-wing media. And what the left wants to do, they want to control the narrative. But if you're going to control the narrative, you must be logical about it. You must put accurate information about it. Any topic that comes out. The left didn't do that. Now, with media such as YouTube and other large social media conglomerates, it's going to be hard for the left-wing media to maintain its reputation. MSNBC is already in the tank. Say what you want about Fox News. And Fox News is basically the best network on television. I don't agree with everything about Fox News. But at least I get both points of view. Yeah, Fox News is a little slanted to the right. But it's not like MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, or CNN. And the gentleman who's on in Megyn Kelly's slot, Tucker Carlson, he's a great addition because he knows how to challenge his guest logically and calmly. He doesn't have a big ego like Megyn Kelly had. Now, Megyn Kelly is going to fit well with MSNBC because Megyn Kelly is basically a liberal and she was self-centered when she was on Fox News. So that's going to be a good fit for her. I wouldn't even work at any of those liberal channels. I mean, they are very bad. Bad journalism. But if you want to understand the issues that are going on in the news, check YouTube out. You have a bunch of information. You have Alex Jones. Everything you need is right here on YouTube. YouTube goes viral. It's worldwide. Where, again, your news networks, they're not. You can find local news on YouTube. Utilize Facebook and Twitter as well. Social media is the outside media that I am talking about. Social media has information and education that you won't find in schools. Now, I'm going to, starting February 1st, which is Black History Month, we'll talk about some of the black inventors. You don't get that at any public school. But I'm going to talk about it because it is Black History Month. And some of the great inventors who were African American need to be talked about. I learned about media from watching the different news networks, the slant. I knew about college because I attended college. I had to take some C's because I didn't agree with the left-wing narrative. But I was also uninformed because when I went to college, particularly in the 80s, we didn't have platforms like YouTube. In fact, the only big platform that was on cable in the 80s was CNN. Fox News came in 1996. So basically everything you had was liberal. Now you had one conservative talk radio host, and that was Rush Limbaugh, and he didn't come until 1988. So if you look at the media, it's been liberal for a long time. But going back into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, when you had ABC, NBC, and CBS, well, they were always good reporters. Today, it's basically opinionated gossip. And the media is in place now to distract everything that's happening in the real world. And if you're not smart enough, you're going to get hooked. The media's throwing that bait out there because they have to have stories, because everything that they're doing is not working. And it's going to get worse for the media. This is why I decided to go on YouTube. Everybody who has content and a topic that's related to what's going on in the real world, they can put it out, but you have to know how to put it out. Again, there's thousands of platforms here on YouTube. Facebook Live, that's another source of outside media that you can get information from. Also, look at people's pages. I tend to post different articles of news on my page. Now, I don't do any drama, okay? This is one area that Black Americans thrive in. When it comes to drama, it is numero uno. But the problem is drama is not educational. It doesn't tell us what's going on in the real world. And there are a number of African American channels, they promote that drama. Now, some of them are doing it for the views, and it works. That's what they want to do. And you got to have that as well, okay? You got to have some channels on YouTube or any other social media that are going to make you laugh. You got to have some soap operas. That's part of the underground media. And the good thing about the underground media, like YouTube, you don't have to pay for it. You can get paid for doing YouTube. You just have to promote your material, and it can go a long way. You don't have to have a large channel to get your information out. Just do some reading, and if you feel confident getting in front of a camera, do it. Because you have a voice to a certain extent. I mean, there are some channels on YouTube that get flagged, but if you have some decent content, decent presentation, and you are confident in what you do, and you enjoy doing it, you don't have to worry about your channel getting flagged. But it's time for the American people to go outside the main media for their news. Because the main media is dead. Like Sean Hannity said, journalism died in 2008. It's no more journalism. Everything now you see is opinion-based. There's opinion-based right here on YouTube. But a lot of what I do and some of my other fellow YouTubers do, we do look at the articles and we research our information before we present it, because I want to give you honest journalism. I just don't want Americans during this next 4 years to be uninformed, because you're going to have to vote again before you know it. At 4 years that Donald Trump has done, it's going to go. And then you have to make preparations for the midterm election in 2018. Now, what you have that's going on now with the left should automatically sway your vote to vote Republican, or vote a candidate who's not left of Lenin, because that's what the Democrats are. They're Stalinists. They like Mao Zedong. They like Fidel Castro. They like Charles Taylor, Mussolini. They like all these guys. Vladimir Putin. All dictators. And this is what the left wing stands for. They're not going to tell you that, but Reagan had the Cold War against communism. And this is what the outside media must do. They must fight against the liberal left, which the liberal left in this country, they're not liberals. I don't even know why they even use the term liberal. They are socialist and communist. And I'm going to keep on putting information out that is going to be useful so you won't be uninformed. That's why I do videos as well. That's why my other YouTubers like Matt Coley, shout out to him. Brother Q Wilson, shout out to him. You can check both of their channels out as well. Q Wilson is talking about Uber. Matt Coley, he does a little bit of the social issues, but you can catch him as well on Big Body Trucking. He's talking to you about trucking. That's other forms of information. But we got it for free here. All you have to do is take time, turn on my channel and some other YouTubers' channels, because you're going to get accurate information. That's part of the outside source. Because again, left-wing media is going to leave everyone distracted from really what's going on. Because you can take pictures, you can manipulate them any way you want. You can take stats, you can manipulate them to fit your narrative. And that's what the left-wing media has in the United States today. They have a narrative. And their narrative is to keep American people ignorant. This is why Donald Trump supporters were called deplorable by the left-wingers. Why? That's a shaming tactic. Because realistically, we knew that Hillary Clinton was not a great candidate. She was going to lead us down a road of socialism and communism. It's not what the United States was founded on. This is why the left doesn't like the system the way it is. They tried to change it. They tried to utilize Jill Stein for recounts. And notice, when Democrats lose, they cannot take that loss with any type of dignity. Republicans need to do that. They need to start being fighters. I can tell you, when Obama won, the Tea Party was formed, and the media really didn't have as much eye on the Tea Party as they do on these marches. Because these marches, again, they're all part of the left-wing mantra here. Again, these marches are funded by George Soros. He's a big left-winger. One must understand that if you continue to get your source from the mainstream media, you're not going to get the full story. And what's going to happen? You're going to be left in the dark, uninformed. So don't let the left-wing media tell you how to think. Utilize all sources of media. Then you make your decision on which way you want to go. Whether it's politics, education, careers, you be the judge. But take each and every source into consideration. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. And you always want to be informed. And that's this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for tonight, Monday, January 30th, 2017. You can tune in to the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in controversy, debates, social or emotional issues, nor do I participate in drama or unnecessary bickering. This channel is strictly for educational purposes only, so I talk about business, education, careers, and politics, because what I do is provide you with the real world application so you can survive the challenges that the real world will present. So keep everything realistic but positive. And if you have a business or a topic that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section under the video. Make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering, if you wish to opine. That's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.